Please be aware, in this podcast series we talk about all areas of safeguarding, which some people may find upsetting. So please make sure you're okay listening to today's topic. Be mindful of those around you, such as children, that you might not want to listen in. Hi, I'm SSS Safeguarding Director Sam Preston.
And I'm former head teacher and content author Sara Spinks.
So today we're diving into a hot topic in the tech world. That's Meta, formerly Facebook, Meta's decision to implement end-to-end encryption on its Facebook Messenger platform. So let's start with the basics. Sara, could you explain what end-to-end encryption means for those listening who might not, like me, be fully familiar with the term?
Yeah, absolutely. So end-to-end encryption essentially means that only the sender and the receiver of a message can see its contents. Even the company providing the platform, and in this case Meta, cannot access the messages. It's a significant move towards privacy and preventing unauthorised access to personal communications.
So that's quite a secure privacy measure, isn't it? So what's your thought really on Meta's decision to implement end-to-end encryption?
Well, while it's a strong move to protect privacy, there are concerns, especially regarding child safety. End-to-end encryption means that even if there's harmful content being shared, Meta won't have access to it unless a user reports it. And this could make it harder, to detect and prevent instances of child abuse or exploitation on the platform.
Yeah, indeed. And child safety is a real critical concern here. So how do you see this move by Meta impacting users and, their online interactions?
It's a significant shift in how users interact on Facebook Messenger. With end-to-end encryption, users can have more confidence in the privacy of their conversations. However, it also means that users need to be more vigilant about what they share and who they communicate with, especially considering the potential risks involved, and particularly for vulnerable groups like children.
Yeah, I think we should just point out, end-to-end encryption does exist on other platforms and other social media outlets, and certainly, there's obviously been a driver for Meta from that perspective to align with some of those. But equally, the audience and user capacity of Meta really does bring it into, a massive focus, isn't it? So What are some of the responses and concerns raised by experts and authorities sort of regarding Meta's decision to go with this?
Well, there's been a range of responses, really. On one hand, there's praise for Meta's commitment to user privacy. However, concerns, have been raised, particularly by law enforcement and child protection groups, about that potential impact of detecting and preventing child abuse. Without access to message content, it becomes so much harder to identify and intervene in cases of abuse.
Yeah, and that's a complex area, isn't it? Yeah. How do you think Meta's move kind of aligns with the current regulatory landscape, especially regarding online safety?
Well, it's a bit of a balancing act, really. On one hand, Meta is responding to growing concerns about privacy and security, aligning with trends towards end-to-end encryption seen in other platforms like WhatsApp. However, it does pose challenges for law enforcement and those regulatory agencies, who are tasked, with ensuring online safety. And it makes it much harder to monitor and intervene in harmful activities. When I think about situations I've come across as a head teacher, where those things have been able to be intercepted, and that wouldn't happen now, and children who are being abused, it will go undetected unless they make a disclosure themselves, which is really worrying for the future.
Yeah, I think there is some talk, isn't there, about a system that Meta has that it can use. However, there is no details on that, so it's hard to evaluate it, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, what do you think? Are the sort of potential solutions or strategies then to mitigate the risks associated with end-to-end encryption while still obviously protecting privacy?
Well, it's a tough challenge. And one approach could be for companies like Meta to invest in advanced detection technologies that can identify harmful, without compromising end-to-end encryption. Additionally, there needs to be sort of a greater collaboration, I think, between tech companies, law enforcement and child protection agencies, to develop effective strategies for maintaining online safety in an encrypted environment.
So you've highlighted certainly some, the real important considerations for the future of online safety, and it'll be very interesting to see what comes out of Meta in actually reporting to Congress, won't it?
Certainly is. It's a topic I feel we'll definitely be revisiting, and it'll be really interesting to see what happens as a result of Meta in the front of Congress in the US at the moment. It's watching and waiting and see.